wanted to ask you, we talk about on the show beyond the court about perseverance, a lot of things. Of course, we get into the stuff that happens on the court, but we like to, talk about perseverance and people getting through things. And I remember you told me, like I said, a million stories, but one in particular thing I wanted to bring out during, you mentioned your junior and senior year, you were at an awards banquet, if I'm correct. And I want you to tell this story, but I want to kind of paint the picture. You're at an awards banquet, and I guess your best friend, Dennis, that was your teammate. It was a situation that happened. Can you go into that story? Because I look at that like that, to me, is what probably, motivated you going forward from college and so on. Can you talk about that experience?
Well, my junior year, I was the only underclassman that was starting. And Dennis, who is a good friend, he was the sixth man. Okay. And we go to the awards banquet. We had a banquet every year. I was the second leading scorer on the team my junior year. And so certainly I'm going to get some kind of award, most improved or something. And so we go to the banquet, because back then trophies were huge. I mean, that's what we lived for. When you got a trophy back then, man, it meant something. Now everybody gets a trophy. They give all the kids trophies just for growing up. But back then you really had to earn your trophies. And so Dennis won most improved. And he gets his award and he stands up and he says, "This year I won most improved. Next year I'm going to win everything." And I mean, that just devastated me. So I went home after the banquet and I was on the car porch. Back then that's what you had, car porches instead of garages. Open. And my brother came outside, my oldest brother, Nathaniel. He said, "Otis, why are you crying?" Because I didn't win nothing. I should have won something. He said, "Well, you can win something next year." I said, "I'm going to win this next year. I'm going to average 30 points a game and I'm going to win everything." He said, "Otis, you can't average 30 points a game. I mean, it's high school. No one averages 30 points a game." And he was right. I didn't average 30 points a game. I averaged 33 points a game. And it's funny because the coach came to me before the banquet, because I led the team in scoring, rebounding, assists, steals, free throws, everything. He said, "Otis, rightfully so, you should win every award." He told me this before the banquet. He said, "But we can only give you the MVP. We can't give you every award." And I was fine with that because we had won the state championship. I wasn't worried about that. But to your point, Sean, how disappointments motivate you, the same thing happened my junior year at the University of Houston. I played in the Pan American Games my sophomore year. We won the Pan American Games in Mexico City. And the Pan American Games are pre-Olympics.
Right.
So that's the year before the Olympics. We won in Mexico City, got a gold medal, everything. I was voted MVP. So we have the Olympic trials. Dean Smith is the coach. He took 7 players from the ACC, 5 players from his own team. I was an alternate. I was devastated. They told me I was the first alternate. If somebody got hurt or couldn't go, then I would be on the Olympic team. I said, if somebody broke their leg, I'm not going, because I should have made it. And Dean Smith told them, "Well, Otis didn't make it because he's such a great scorer. I wouldn't know how he would have fit in with the team as far as." Come on, are you kidding me? You took 5 players from your own team. So I was so devastated. I asked Guy Lewis, please, coach, get a game with North Carolina, whatever you do, please. I want to play them my senior year. And we were in Florida. I was out in front of the house, and Mama came. I said, "Oh, this Coach Lewis is on the phone for you." He was calling me from Houston. I was in Winter Haven. He said, "I got some good news and some bad news." I said, "Well, give me the bad news." He said, "I couldn't schedule a game with North Carolina. They wouldn't do it." I was devastated. I said, "Well, what's the good news?" He said, "I got a nationally televised game at UCLA on New Year's Day." That really helped me, because at UCLA, I scored like 43 on New Year's at Poly Pavilion at the time, which was the record. It still might be the record at Poly Pavilion. And John Wooten happened, who wasn't coaching, he was in the stands. And he said that's the greatest performance he had ever seen from a guard at UCLA. So disappointments, didn't make the Olympic team, was an alternate, but it fueled my senior year at the University of Houston when I averaged 30 points a game at Houston, shot 58% from the field. We lost in NIT finals, and I ended up being the second pick in the draft. So to your point, disappointments off the court definitely fuels players to play better once they get on the court. Driven.